While the problem of concussion in football has been widely acknowledged, new studies have come out showing that all repetitive head trauma, even seemingly mild contact, causes damage to the brain, and the routine blows to the head that players take play after play on the line of scrimmage can add up to serious health problems later in life. The response to these findings in football has been to limit the amount of head trauma the players take by restricting live contact in practices. While this approach is well intended, playing less football doesn't make playing football any safer. And it's a mistake to think that the helmet companies will make the game safer with a product that makes it okay for players to knock their heads together, because no helmet can protect the brain from these kind of injuries. The only way to make playing football safer right now is to teach players how to hit without using their heads, and it's on those of us who coach football to do that. HitSmart Football runs training programs to teach coaches the hitting principles of boxing and then how to apply those principles to the hitting situations of the game of football, so that they're better prepared to teach their players to hit with their hands instead of their heads. To hit effectively with his hands, just like a boxer throwing straight punches, a football player coming off the line has to hit with his arms fully extended and locked out on contact, with his head back and as far away from the opponent as it can be. As anyone who's ever done a push-up knows, the arms locked position is the position of maximum leverage, and this strength is what keeps the player's head safely removed from the collision event. This technique is a more complex athletic skill than ramming your head into someone, but with a little instruction, any coach can learn the principles well enough to be able to train their players to hit with their hands consistently. In a HitSmart Clinic, coaches get instruction in boxing fundamentals to give them a better understanding of punching leverage. After that introduction, the coaches are then taught the football drills we use to translate the punching technique from boxing to football. In a follow-up session with their team, coaches get the opportunity to teach players the fundamentals of how to hit with their hands, and then put them through a circuit of the football drills they've learned to develop and reinforce the technique. With their new knowledge, the coaches are better prepared to teach their players how to hit in ways that don't involve using their heads. They can teach the principles of punching, and they know a number of football drills they can run on the practice field to continue to develop their players' ability to hit with their hands instead of their heads. With an understanding of how to punch and how punching translates to football, coaches will develop their own drills and find new applications for the technique that fit their own programs. But most importantly, as long as these coaches are involved in football, every one of the players they coach will be better prepared to not hit with their heads when they play the game. As for the players, in just one session, young players go from basically knowing only how to hit with their heads to possessing an understanding of how to hit with their arms fully extended on contact. And now they possess an alternative to the automatic head trauma that people associate with contact in the game of football. These young players aren't experts, but now they have the beginnings of a technique that, as they practice and develop, will save them hundreds, if not thousands, of repetitive blows to the head throughout their football career. The football season's just a few months away. Soon players will be in full equipment and hitting each other, and every kid who goes out for the team already knows how to hit with his head, and this is just what they'll do unless they're provided with an alternative. All the leading health experts agree the number one defense against brain injury in football is prevention. So if we're going to put helmets on players and instruct them to hit each other, it's our obligation as coaches to teach them how to hit in ways that don't involve using their heads to do it. Because when it comes to the effect of contact to the head in football, there is no gray area. By teaching a player how to hit with his head, or even just allowing a player to hit with his head, we're hurting that player. To make football less dangerous to a player's brains, it's up to those of us who coach the game to change it. Schedule a HitSmart Clinic for your program and change the game this summer. Your players, your community, and your sport will be better for it.